So I mentioned an old fiddle player named Woody Simmons a little bit ago, and I hung out a lot with Woody. And one time he was telling me about an old musician he knew, and he said to me, he's an old Tuckahoe. I said, Woody, what's a Tuckahoe? He said he's somebody who lives down in Virginia. And if you look in a dialect dictionary, it'll say there's somebody who lives east of the Blue Ridge, down in the Tidewater area. The people from down there are called Tuckahoes. Well, I played a lot of music with Melvin Wine. I was kind of his backup musician for about 25 years, and we traveled all over and played. And one time Melvin remembered an old tune, and it went something like this. Let's see. So I said, Melvin, he didn't know the name of it when he first remembered the tune, and a couple years later he remembered that the tune was called the Poor Tuckahoe. And he told me that he had a cousin who sang the words to it. So I made a beeline up there to visit an old fellow named Everett White, who knew the words to this little ditty that Melvin played called the Poor Tuckahoe. And it's kind of poking fun at people who live down in the Tidewater area. And this is not I guess you had a lot of different stratas of economic levels there in the Tidewater. You had the landed gentry, and then you had the yeoman farmers, and then you had, even under them, I'm sure, the slave class. Well, this is poking fun at the lower class yeoman farmers, I guess you could say. I'll sing you the best one I ever sung yet, about the ragged and the dirty and the half-starved set. The ragged and the dirty and they live down below. They're called by the Irish the Poor Tuckahoe. When they go hunting, they call up their dogs, chase an old rabbit in the holler of a log. Bow well, they'll declare they never saw a fatter or finer old hare. Then they'll take him home and jerk off the skin with a pot of water ready for to flop him in. For he has time to steward a thaw. Just let him at 'em, they'll eat him dead or wrong. When they go to bake and make bread, build up a fire as high as your head. Rake out the ashes and roll it on the dough. That is the way of the poor Tuckahoes. That is the way that they all used to do when I went along with the Tuckahoe crew. They dress in fine clothes to every degree. Then to the pretty girls they must see. They jump on their horses and give them a kick, and flounce over the ground like a crooked maple stick. That is the way that they all used to do when I went along with the Tuckahoe crew. Poor Tuckahoe.